Hello everybody and welcome back to the Celtic FC 25 career mode. It's been a minute. I think this is the longest gap I've had between episodes since we began the series right when this game came out. And you know what? I'm feeling refreshed, I'm feeling good, and I'm very, very excited to get into things. Our fourth season. Bloody hell, time does fly. It really, really does. It feels like only yesterday I uploaded that very first preview episode and I was so excited about this career mode taking place, and let's just say I'm very, very excited to continue this career mode going into season 4, lads. I'm pumped. Obviously, when we ended season 3, I did ask for some of your input on some of the signings we should make. I did pay attention to the comments, although even though I agreed with all of them, there was one situation that just would not go to plan. But look, I'm still very happy with the squad that we have assembled here. And without further ado, lads, let me show you the new look Celtic team going into season 4. Here it is. As you can see there's a few new faces. There's also some familiar faces who are looking absolutely quality as well. But I think this is the most happy I have felt with this team so far. Let's start from in goal and work our way forward, and then I'll show you the exact prices that players came in for, and also prices that we sold players for as well. But we did have a decision to make. Matthias Pullison, I should say. He was our joint highest rated player alongside Dorado last season, or at least one of them. And of course, we did have to sell our two highest rated players. Now, he's actually gone up a rating since this season has started, and I'll explain a bit about the format for this season as well as this episode goes on. But he will remain between the sticks. Dorado has been sold. We've brought in a player to replace him, which we'll come on to as well in a minute. But Pullison, I was very much in agreement with all of you. He was the one I wanted to keep, and he is the one who will continue to be in between the sticks this season. Alistair Johnston, the Canadian, he stays at right back. 81 rated at 28 years old. Listen, it's not the highest rating you can get at right back. It's not the youngest player you could get at right back, but I'm still very happy to keep him in the team. I don't think right back was an area we desperately needed to improve right now, this moment. Now, in terms of a left back, I have made a decision to bring in a new player here. Christensen has been brought into the club. We signed him from Valencia. Ryan Sessegnon has been sold. Listen, he was okay, Sessegnon, but I found that he got tired very easily, wasn't great defensively, and going forward, I found that he would do well in spades. I didn't think he was as consistent as what I was hoping, and I'd never really used him in the game before, so I was kind of excited to see what he was all about. And listen, he contributed to quite a bit of success, but I just felt like in order to get to the next level, we needed to make a bit of an upgrade here, and I'm very happy with Christensen taking over that spot now. The two centre-backs remain the same. Garcia, who we signed as a free agent last season, hopefully his overall will start shooting up this season. And speaking of overalls shooting up, Phil CM Punk Brooks, 87 rated now. He has signed a lifetime deal here at Celtic. He is committed to this cause, and he is growing very, very quickly, which is great to see. I was not sure what to expect. I know that over the years, created players, not just on this channel, but just in FIFA and FC in general, I've seen mixed results in terms of how quick they grow, but Brooks is growing very, very fast, and I'm very happy to see that he is amongst the best in his position at the moment, because that's what we're going to need in order to win this Champions League. This is our new CDM, Varela. We brought him in, I think, from Porto, 83 rated, 26 years old. I think we brought him in for a relatively decent price as well. Unfortunately, Dorado did have to be moved on, but I'm very, very happy with bringing in a player of Varela's quality to replace him. And you've probably noticed as well, we've also brought in a new CDM on the bench, but we'll get to that in a second. Santos stays there in the central midfield position on the left-hand side, and we've brought in Kokchu as well. I am probably saying his name wrong, and I've just recorded a load of highlights where I also probably say his name wrong. I will learn how to say his name. I just wanted to get right into this recording and I didn't check beforehand. But I don't want to spoil anything. But so far, I think this guy is doing better than what Quinton Timber did. And I loved having Timber in this team, as you'll all know. But this guy has really stepped up to the plate, and I feel like he has even more to his game. I believe we had a straight swap between Timber and Cockchew because I was getting no offers for Timber. I thought I was going to get loads, to the point where I had to double check if I had him transfer listed. And then when I saw that I did, I was wondering, like, why is there no offers coming through? So I said, you know what, let's have a look at a swap deal. Might save us some money. And I think we've gotten a great deal here by bringing in this player. So I'm very, very happy to see him in the team. And you'll see there in a second how good he has been so far. Maeda has gone up to an 80 rating there on the left-hand side. 29 years old, but he's showing no signs of slowing down yet, let me tell you. Very, very happy to still have him be in this starting 11. Then we have decided to bring in a new right winger. Kosenshaw, I think is how you say his name, or Consensio. I really don't know. I've probably mispronounced it in the highlights as well. I will learn how to say these players' names. I just wanted to get right into this season. I wanted to make those decisions. I saw your feedback, so yeah, if I'm mispronouncing a few of these players' names even, that's why. It's because I haven't checked since I've signed them, but I will get it checked. And of course, I'm sure you'll let me know in the comments below as well. Kuhn, I liked, but I thought that his numbers dried up a little bit in Season 3, and we got an offer that I just felt like I couldn't refuse from a certain team in a certain league. It's actually not as big a team as I'm making out, but it was a Premier League team, or at least an English team, let's just say. And when I saw the offer, I was like, yeah, I can't reject that. Really happy to have brought him in. I know we brought him in from Porto, Conceição, however you say his name, but he will be a very, very important player for us going forward. Only 24 years old, 83 rated already. As I said, Kuhn's numbers had dried up. I just feel like we're going to start creating more chances now off the right-hand side as well, and that is what this man has been brought in to do. Now, when it comes to strikers, as you can see here, I don't know if I can pronounce this guy's name. Ferguson? I'm obviously joking. Evan Ferguson. Right. Lads, I did everything I could to bring Gyökeres to the club. Before we signed anybody else, I think we had about 60 million. I did everything I could with that 60 million, including swap deals with players like Timber, to try and bring in Gyökeres. They would not budge, Arsenal, who he's at in this career mode. They, would not budge an absolute bit. So I said, that's fine. That's fine. Listen, I don't want to stress myself out too much over this. Let's sell some other players. Let's do some other business, and then we'll come back to Gyökeres. By the time we brought in other players, and I was ready to go back in for him, I got that lovely little message from FC25 to say the team will not sell this player as he is too important for them. So, unfortunately, I have not been able to bring in the Swedish striker this season. But if any of you have watched any of the Ireland career mode episodes over the last few days, you will know how good a player Evan Ferguson has been for us in that career mode so far, which is obviously in the same save, but we're trying to treat them like two different universes. But Evan Ferguson is the man we've brought in. We've signed him from Manchester United. The Irishman now leads the line for us up front. So we've got two Irish strikers now, Ferguson and Ida. And I'm very, very happy with that, with those options, I should say. That is the main starting 11. It's the strongest it's ever looked. I feel like there might still be one or two areas that we may need to improve, but I feel like this team is ready to give the Champions League a mighty fight. Do I think we can win it this season? Listen, I think we're dark horses. That's the way I would put it. We're nowhere near favourites. I wouldn't say that we're also one of the lower teams in the Champions League, if that makes sense. I think we're somewhere in the middle. Dark horses on the verge of being one of the teams that you would expect to contend for the Champions League. Let's go through the bench. So Adam Ida, who was our main man last season, he will now be the main striker to bring off the bench. Palma is our backup winger. Still very happy with him. 78 rated, 27 years old. He can play on the left. He can play on the right. He makes defenders look very shite. Ward, I am so excited to have this guy back. Again, if you watched any of the international episodes, or the Ireland episodes, I should say, over the last few days, you will know how good this guy is. He has returned from his loan spell at Southampton, and he's gotten off to a lively start for us here at Celtic so far, which you'll see in the next few moments. Hatate is still an option off the bench as well. Callum McGregor, initially, I thought was going to retire here at Celtic. Now, I did get a notification, or I did get a little message to say that 2 players will be retiring this season, so I was unable to sell them. But surprisingly, McGregor, despite being older than the 2 players who are still with us who'll be retiring, he was not one of those players. We got a decent offer from Hull, I think it was, to take Callum McGregor. And I had my eye on another Scottish CDM, and I thought, you know what, McGregor, love him to bits, but he was rapidly declining. We got a decent chunk of money for him. I decided to cash in on him and bring in this man here, Scott McTominay, formerly of Manchester United and Napoli. He is now playing for Celtic in his home country of Scotland, even though technically he was born in England, but you know what I mean. He represents Scotland at international level. Very excited to have him in the squad because even though I would have him nowhere near CDM in real life, he's very, very good there in the game, and he's also very good going forward as well. To the point where if we really, really, really needed to, he could probably play up front. So Scott McTominay is a very welcome addition to the team. The rest of the subs were all here last season. Valle, Costa, Marquis and Burt. And then if we go down here to the reserves, Ryan Christie and Kyogo Furuhashi are 2 players who I wanted to sell, but they are both retiring. Furuhashi only 32, Christie only 32. Bit of a surprise that they were retiring. It was really annoying because I wanted to cash in on them before they retired. I was not expecting them to retire this season, but listen, at least they're there as options off the reserves if we need to rotate the squad. It's not the end of the world. Although it is a little bit awkward that we gave Kyogo Furuhashi a big farewell and he didn't even fucking leave. But anyways, at least he's retiring here at Celtic. And we also brought in this third choice goalkeeper here, Acosta, because when I played the pre-season tournament, just to raise a bit of funds, Pullison actually picked up a knock. Now, when it said he was injured, I feared the worst and thought he was going to be out for months. Thankfully, it was only a 5-day injury. It did get me thinking, though, we probably should get a third choice keeper just to have complete security in that position. He only cost about 1.2 million, so I was very happy to pay that money just to make sure that we have the security in that position. So let me show you the exact prices now of the players that we brought in and the players that we sold. So Dorado was somebody we actually didn't do a swap deal for. Now I remember, we sold him to Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia, 57.5 million. There was a lot of offers for Dorado. I was very, very surprised to see that he got more offers than Timber did. It was really, really shocking, actually. But thankfully, when I saw the one coming from a Saudi team, I knew that it was the most likely to go through. It was the most money we got offered as well. 57.5 million, greatly accepted. Although he is a bit of a loss, Dorado. I really, really enjoyed him in that last season that we just played. And it was a shame that we had to sell him. But look, rules are rules. And we've got Varela now as a decent replacement. Evan Ferguson, 47 million from Manchester United. Not too bad of a price for a player who's, how old is he again? 22, 83 rated. I thought it was a decent enough price. He has potential to grow even more as well. But let's just say I haven't given up on Gyökeres just yet. Now, I do have an update on how long this career mode is going to be, but I'll give you that update at the end of this episode, so stay tuned just to find out more about that, and also a bit of an update to the schedule and just how these episodes are going to go up. So that will all be revealed at the end of this episode. Nicholas Kuhn for 44 million. Now, he has actually gone up in overall since then, but I thought this was a brilliant offer from Sheffield United. I believe they're in the Premier League this season, but they could be in the Championship. With that type of money, I think I just assumed they were in the Premier League. But listen, stranger things have happened. As I said, his numbers dried up. I thought it was time to move him on, and we got a decent offer. He's now playing down south. Best of luck to him. And as I said, we got the ideal replacement for him as well here. In let's just call him Francisco for now. So that's what I'm going to call him until the end of this episode. But he was signed for a little bit less than what Kuhn cost, 42.2 million. Not too shabby. Varela, 26.5 million, 83 rated, 26 years old. A year younger than Dorado. 1 overall less, but I'm sure that he can get to that overall the better he plays and the more he plays. 26.5 million, as I say, not too bad of a price. Christensen signed from Valencia, 25.3 million. Very, very happy with that upgrade at left back. Israel Reyes was a free agent we signed, I think in season 1 or 2. My memory is a bit shaky now when I'm trying to remember which season it was, not that it matters. But for a free signing, we end up getting 15.3 million for him. He is now going to be playing out in Istanbul for Fenerbahce. Best of luck to him. wasn't really playing. Even in the rotational games, I never really picked him, so I thought, why not cash in on him? Ryan Sessegnon, 14.5 million to go and play for Feyenoord, so best of luck to him in the Netherlands. Scott McTominay, 12.5 million, decent deal for a backup CDM who's very versatile, can play anywhere in the midfield. CDM, as I mentioned, number 6. We don't play with a number 10, but I reckon he'd do a decent job there, and he can also play up front as well if needs be. Conor Curry, young Irish right back, has been loaned out here to Augsburg, and Callum McGregor sold to Hull City for 3 million. I was tempted to keep him, but his overall has shot down, as you can see. I think he was 76 rated at the end of last season, and he's already gone down to 73. Great player, Celtic hero, but it was time to move on. And as I say, McTominay has taken that slot now as the backup CDM. Cochrane, youth player, 69 rated, 2.6 million to go to Nice. We'll keep an eye on him though. Sometimes when you sell youth players, their overall shoots up. So I have shortlisted him, and I'll keep an eye on his growth. Dylan Morrissey, young Irish midfielder, he has gone to... what team is that? I don't even know. I think it might be a Portuguese team. He's gone anyway for 2 million. Another player going to Istanbul here is Ito, 1.8 million to go to Beşiktaş. Gannon is out on loan. Costa we signed for 1.2 million. Reece White has gone to Wigan for just over 1 million. McMahon leaving Celtic for just under 1 million. McVeigh to Burnley. McCormack to Eospor, another Turkish team, and Kokchu here was a straight swap for Timber, and he's one of my favourite players so far, let's just say. Oh, and Liam Lundberg has gone to Galway United on loan, managed by Cork City legend John Caulfield. But anyways, that is all the transfer business done at last. I have played highlights of all of our first few domestic games. We'll only play one full game on this episode, which will be our opening Champions League league phase game. Bloody hell, lads, we have a bloody challenge on our hands to get through to the last 8 this season. It is not going to be easy, but I will reveal all the teams as the episodes go on. So let me get through the domestic games, and as we're loading up the Champions League game, I'll talk a little bit about the format for this season in terms of the full games I'm going to show, and so on and so forth. So without further ado, let's get into the highlights. Our campaign gets off to an absolutely flying start, and so does the debutant Evan Ferguson, scoring here on his Celtic debut, smashing it past the keeper. Good ball by Maida. He is settling in just fine here in Glasgow, even though technically this game was in Dundee, but you know what I mean. I am very, very happy to have him leading the line, as disappointing as it was not to get Gyökeres, but whatever. That gave us the lead here, and then something happened that very, very rarely happens. Ball whipped in, Garcia wins the header. Kokchu, however you say his name, still learning it. He was the one who whipped it in, so that's a good sign to see that his set pieces are quite good. And the Spanish centre-back doubled our lead in the opening, I think it was 15 minutes. Yeah, on the 14th minute we went 2-0 up. And there was more where that came from. Consensao, he made it 3-0. Again, I will learn how to say these guys' names. I'm probably mispronouncing them now. Leave me alone. But anyways, we didn't leave the defence alone, and we didn't leave the back of the net alone. 3-0, another debut goal there for our new right winger. You love to see that. Then, I don't know what happened here. I was under the impression that I'd paused the game, and then I looked up, and it was 3-1. So you can blame my mother for ringing me when this goal went in, because I was under the impression the game was paused, getting the excuses in for conceding this one. But thankfully, it was the only chance that they really created. Ross County. I said Dundee earlier, didn't I? Ross County is what I meant to say. My bad. But Maida made it 4-1 here. His first goal of the season. He had an absolutely brilliant campaign in Season 3, and he's looking to continue from where he left off here in Season 4. And then we did get a 5th goal as well from the Canadian Alistair Johnston. Maida whipping in the ball. A bit of a deflection on the header, but Johnston got credited with the goal, and we get a 5-1 win away from home here in our first league game of the season. Lovely stuff. Well, it's great to see that the new signings seem to be settling in to their new home, and nothing was more evident than that today, as I've had to reset the highlights here again. Give me 2 seconds. Sorry about that. But anyways, Evan Ferguson, he scored on his official debut. Now he scores on his Celtic Park debut as well. Here against Motherwell, smashing that one past the goalkeeper. I tell you what, lads, it was a bit of a toss-up between the two strikers we were going for. Even though Gyökeres was the higher rated one, I am not one bit disappointed with Evan Ferguson. And he's gotten off to a brilliant start, as I say. Craig Ward, who technically isn't making his home debut, because before we loaned him out, I did actually bring him on in a cup game, and I think I might have brought him on in a league game as well at Celtic Park in season 1. But he scores here on his first proper appearance as a main member of the squad for Celtic, smashing it past the keeper. We've seen him do it for Ireland, and now we're seeing him do it for Celtic as well, so love to see that. He is going to be a very, very important player for us this season, believe you me. Unfortunately, I didn't keep a clean sheet. Decent strike there, comes back to the attacker. Pullison's unlucky, just fell underneath him, deflects off his left leg and ends up in the back of the net. But again, Motherwell didn't create too much other than that. And Kokchu, again, I'm probably saying his name wrong. His name sounds a bit wrong anyways when I say it. Kokchu. Oh god, it's like Anal, who we had in Clone United. If you know, you know. And no, it doesn't sound anything like, it's not anything like it sounds, is what I'm trying to say. I'm digging a hole here for myself. But he scores on his home debut as well in the 89th minute, smashed it past the keeper to seal yet another 3 points here. A 100% start to the season is greatly accepted. Let's keep that momentum going. First Old Firm of the season, and it's the same old result. Evan Ferguson, he's making a habit of scoring here on his debuts, and he's done it here in his Old Firm debut. The camera was going a bit weird there, I don't know what was going on there, but smacks it past the keeper yet again. 3 goals in 3 games. He is loving life at Celtic, and Rangers, who had a bit of a disappointing season for their standards, have not started this season so greatly. I think they were in 10th. And I know it's only after 3 games, but still, that's not great for them. But we don't care. We took a 1-0 lead, which very quickly became a 2-0 lead. Dazin Maeda keeping up his great form as well. What's going on with the camera? Why does it keep going away? Sorry, that's really annoying. But this is going to be a better angle. Slotting it home there, Maeda again. 2 goals in 3 games for him. Now, unfortunately, we still can't keep a bloody clean sheet. I don't know what's going on so far this season. And again, it's a bit of an avoidable goal. And Pullison, let me just say, we decided to keep him over Dorado. He's actually gone up in his overall since then. But he's not having the best start of the season. He's looking a bit more shaky than he normally does. Thankfully, though, it didn't cost us this time, because Adamida, the forgotten man, back in the team, showing that he still has a big point to prove as well this season. The camera, again, went very choppy there. I'm really sorry. It's distracting me a lot. But thankfully, we weren't distracted by the fact that we got a great result. That made no sense. But Adamida sealed the 3 points there. His first goal of the season. And Rangers are in the mud yet again. And this season we're going to quick sim a game. St Johnstone in 8th place. We're at home, full strength team. Let's hope that we can get another 3 points. Yes, we do. Kokchu and Johnston with the goals. So Evan Ferguson's goal scoring run does come to an end, but thankfully our winning streak doesn't. For the first time this season, we're using the highlights feature, and it gets off to a great start. Kokchu, our new midfielder, who is also our new penalty taker. He is far and above our best player from 12 yards. He smacked that into the top corner and gave us a 1-0 lead. And then just 3 minutes later, he showed that he wasn't done yet. Just like Braun Strowman, he was not finished with you, is what he said to St Mirren. And he smacked in his and our second of the game. I tell you what, I was sad to see Timber go, but Kokchu, even though I might not be pronouncing his name correctly right now, I will learn how to say it, he's slotting in very nicely. So even though I'm sad to see one player go, I'm really happy with who we've brought in to replace him. Tuned into the Ireland career mode over the last few days. We actually have qualified for the Euros. I couldn't work out the maths last time because this table wasn't available, because look at what happens when you go into it. Yeah, you can't see F all. So we have qualified with a game to spare. It's just a case now of who tops the group, or who doesn't, or who comes second, I should say. So look, let's just sim this game here against the Ukraine, and we actually get a win. Oh my god, we topped the group. Can you believe it? So not only do we qualify for the Euros, we do it as group winners. We simmed a game against Ukraine in Dublin and lost 4-0, but then in Kiev we go and win 2-1. Ireland are heading to the Euros for the first time since 2016. Get the fuck in there. The highlights feature used yet again, and another win, although I have to say the goal that we concede in this game is probably what stole the show. But Maeda began the show by putting us 1-0 up with the very first highlight of the game, and I just need to get to this. Kieran Boy, or should I say Robin Van Persie, getting the equaliser there for Hibs. Now, to be fair, I've benefited from that highlight many, many times. This is the first time I've suffered from it. But look at the quality of this strike. the way he hits it, the way it swerves in, basically right into the centre of the net. Have to give them credit. That was an absolute beauty. But thankfully, it was not enough for them to get a result today, because Adamida given yet another chance today, and he's showing that he is very much here to stay, and he can still pop up with the big goals when called upon. So that is the end of the highlights for today. Let's get into our first full game, which will of course be in the Champions League against a familiar opponent for Celtic. Start to domestic football this season, and now our attention focuses on Europe. So we are of course in the league phase again as the Scottish Premiership winners, and a very, very tough game to kick things off. Borussia Dortmund away from home. The less said about this game in real life for Celtic this season, the better. Let's hope that we can get a bit of a better result than what the real life boys did only a few weeks ago. But the games don't get any easier from there. I'm not going to reveal all of the opponents in this episode. I kind of like to reveal them just before we play them. But we're playing a lot of the European giants. It's not going to be easy. But just to give you an idea of some of the teams in the Champions League, as you can see, some of them have already played there. So you can see the likes of Juventus, Liverpool, Inter Milan, who else? Atalanta are up there, obviously. Bayern Munich. Nearly losing my voice there. PSG, Man City, Real Madrid, Dortmund, as I mentioned, Barcelona, Arsenal and Chelsea from England, Atletico Madrid. All the usual suspects are there, but not Manchester United, who unfortunately are not a usual suspect in the Champions League these days. But anyways, Dortmund are going to be the team that we kick off against. So let's load up into that there now. We're going to go with our full strength team. Everyone's fully fit. Let's hope that the domestic form can be translated here into European football, because we have a giant mountain to climb in order to get to the last 16 of the Champions League. Here we go. Oh lads, I'm so excited. A new season begins, and it will be one of the final seasons here at Celtic. So let me talk a little bit about the plans going forward whilst we're loading this game up. So, it is season 4. We've won the league in every season. Actually, we've won the double in every season so far. The Scottish League, while still being competitive from time to time, it's getting easier and easier the more the seasons go on. For that reason, I am not going to play any of the full games in Scotland this year. At most, I'll show you the highlights. And yes, that does include the Old Firm. All the full games I will show you will be in the Champions League. I don't want this series to keep dragging on. I really, really don't. I understand that we're 4 seasons in now. Some of you might be looking for a change. Others, I'm sure, are enjoying the series. I know a lot of you are Celtic fans who are tuning into this channel for the first time. Your support is greatly appreciated. And I don't plan on ending the series in this season. But I don't want it to drag on forever. I just don't want this to get stale. So for that reason, we're mainly going to focus on the Champions League. I'll still show you the highlights from the domestic games. So apart from this episode, we'll play 2 full games in every episode, and they will all be Champions League games. That is the way we're going to do this going forward. Obviously, I've been showing some of the Ireland games in recent episodes. I've been doing that as a series within this series. Obviously, as you've just seen there, we've qualified for the Euros. I'm probably only going to do 1 international tournament. I'll be honest, lads, I don't really like international management in this. It was the first time I properly experienced it. I gave it a quick test run back in FIFA 13 12 years ago. And when I tell you nothing has changed, literally nothing. It's the exact same. Obviously, there's a bit of a weird kind of thing with the World Cup where they just seem to randomly pick the teams. So I'm probably only going to do the Euros. So as soon as Season 4 finishes, that is when the Euros will start. Because obviously we'll be in 2028. I would love Season 5 to be the final season if we don't win the Champions League in this. But what I will say is we will not do any more than 6 seasons. That is something I will guarantee. We won't do any more than 6 seasons. So Season 6, even if we haven't won the Champions League at that point, if we do get to Season 6, if we don't win the Champions League before then, that will be that. So that is the plan going forward for this career mode. That's what I'll say now. At the end of this game, I'll give you a bit of a preview as to how I'm going to upload the episodes. And just it's a slight tweak from what I normally do to upload these episodes. But anyways, I've been talking a lot. I feel like I'm losing my voice. That's becoming too regular a theme on this channel. We're here in Dortmund up against the yellow wall. Can we get 3 points here in our opening Champions League game in Season 4? Let's hope so. But it is not going to be easy. Oh, here's Evan Nielsen. Trying to prove that point. For a second there, I thought he was going to give a penalty. But thankfully, we dispossessed them. Honestly, when I saw some of the games that we have coming up in this Champions League campaign, it's made me quite nervous. Here's Ferguson, though. His Champions League debut for Celtic. And I tell you what, he very nearly got us off to a great start there. Keeper did save it. You can probably see one or two of our upcoming opponents there. Definitely one. Actually, I think only just one. So I'll leave you guess which team that's going to be. It's one of the big boys. And it ain't young boys. Even though, are we playing young boys? I can't even remember. I only paid attention to some of the big teams. And I feel like 6 out of the 7 teams we're playing were quite big. That was a good interception there. Here's Garcia. Who, as I say, hopefully can grow a bit more this season. If not, he's probably someone I'll have to look at upgrading. Here's Maida. Ferguson! Oh, no, it wasn't Ferguson. It was Cockchew. Oh, my God. Got a touch. But it strayed wide of the post. Very unlucky. Oh, just beat the post there. But that's 2 decent chances we've created so far. Here's Julian Brandt. Oh, Evan Nielsen again. Or Evan Nielsen, however you say his name. I'm sure, again, you'll let me know in the comments. Do you know, I still haven't gotten out of the mentality of playing teams twice in the Champions League. Like, in the group stage. Like, in my head, I'm like, oh, we've got to play Dortmund twice. No, we don't. We've only got to play them once as I give away the ball. That's something that, I'm not sure how to feel about that in the league phase. I mean, I don't know. I guess it makes it a little bit more interesting, but I kind of miss playing teams home and away at that stage of the competition. I wonder how long it will last for, though, the league phase. We're playing a bit of a dangerous game here. Let's try and get rid of this. I only have myself to blame for that. What the fuck was I doing there? I don't know what I was doing there, to be honest with you. I would love to give you an explanation, but I don't have one. That was appallingly bad. Why are we pissing about with the ball there? I'm not blaming Phil Brooks for that. I'm blaming me. I'm blaming Joseph Turl for that. I should have just passed it out. What was I doing fucking about with it back there? I'm sure my virtual self is thinking the same thing. Oh, 1-0 to Dortmund. And I only have myself to blame. Oh, and I've given it away again now, but thankfully we recover and then we give it away again. It takes me a few episodes to settle into a new season. As pumped as I get for them, there's a lot of stuff to go through, and I feel like that by the time I get to the gameplay, I'm mentally wrecked. Because I'm like, I need to get everything out that we did in the transfer window. I need to... make sure I don't forget anything. And then when I get to the gameplay, I'm mentally exhausted. So there you go, there's my excuse. I blamed my phone earlier, now I'm blaming YouTube. That I willingly do, and nobody forces me to do it. But anyways... Maida's onside. I thought the flag was going to go up there. Oh, good football. Ferguson! Oh, he's hit the post! Oh, what a goal that would have been to open up his Champions League account for Celtic. And the woodwork stops it. Oh, so unlucky. So unlucky. And Dortmund look to capitalise on that now. Here's Fofana. Oh, and Pulisic makes a save there from Evan Nielsen. Well, that's 3 really good chances now we've absolutely wasted. Ferguson really unlucky there. It would have been a fantastic goal. But it wasn't to be. And they get another corner here. But thankfully the scoreline still looks a bit more respectable at this stage than what it did in real life. And actually when we played this fixture in Season 1, we only lost 1-0. And that was before the real life 7-1 drubbing happened. Oh, it's a good ball. Ooh. Wait, what's he giving there? Oh, he's given offside. I thought it was a penalty for a second. Obviously, by the time this episode goes up, Celtic will have played another real-life Champions League game, but at the time of recording, that hasn't happened yet, so I can't comment on it. But let me cover both areas here. What a disgraceful performance from Celtic. They should be ashamed. Another season wasted in Europe. Or get the fuck in there. Great result for Celtic. We're going to finish in the top 8. And actually a third option. Decent result. Would have loved to win, but I'm happy with the point. There we go. All areas covered. But can we cover this area of the pitch and get an equaliser? Another chance there. Squandered. And that's going to be half-time. 1-0 to Dortmund here. But still, we're playing some decent football. It was a stupid goal to concede. I was pissing about at the back too much. 3 chances, well 4 now, that we've had to get an equaliser. And even before that, it was to go in front. But unfortunately, we weren't able to take advantage of it. Not going to make any changes just yet. Don't really feel like that, that we need to make an emergency change as of right now. But we give away the ball in a stupid position. Good header away there by Brooks. Oh, that's a good through ball. Here's Ferguson. What can he do? Evan Ferguson. Ferguson! Oh, he's hit the post again! Oh, we're cursed in this game. Kokchu! Good save by Kobel. Francisco keeps it in. Johnston. Come on! Oh, another good save. It's out to Santos here. Oh, are we going to rue these missed chances? Maida. Kokchu. What can he do? That rhymes. Oh, he loses it. And Dortmund go on the attack here again. Here's Malin. Kunde, who's a very good signing for them, I have to say. Fofana over to Emre Can. Evan Nielsen. Brandt. I'm just saying players' names now, trying to relax. Oh, Malin's clean through here. Garcia, what are you doing? Oh, and it's 2-0. Oh, that's so frustrating. It's one thing to get battered and not have any chances against a big team like Dortmund. But it's another thing to have had so many opportunities and to have such an avoidable first goal to concede. It's a completely different kettle of fish altogether. And that's the one we're experiencing here at the moment. That was a good goal. But I feel like the scoreline isn't reflecting the performance. But listen, we only have ourselves to blame for that. Let's try and put it through a ball there, which doesn't work. Gonna have to make some changes in a minute. And it looks like we're already going to be playing catch-up here on match day 1. As I said, I'm still not expecting us to be... Oh, that's a good ball. Good tackle by Garcia. To be one of the favourites for the Champions League this season. But still, I think we can get top 8. Obviously, we had our worst performance in this competition so far last season. Getting knocked out in the playoff round to Leipzig. In very, very just Spursy, no offence to Tottenham, circumstances. We completely bottled it. That's going to go for a corner. Right, let's make some changes. Santos is going to come off for Ward. I'm going to bring on McTominay as well for Varela. And you know what? I'm going to bring on Adamida. Well, Kyogo Furuhashi was brilliant off the bench in the Champions League over the last few seasons. Adamida has struggled as a starter in this competition. So let's see if he comes off the bench and does any better. Oh, I tell you what, that was dipping. Didn't think he was going to get that much power behind the header. And here is Ida now. Who I will still start from time to time, especially in domestic games as we're rotating the team. But that's kind of why I wanted Gyökeres. I'm not taking anything away from Evan Ferguson. Oh, piss off! Oh, fuck off! Oh, it's 3-0, and now we are getting battered. Julian Brandt seals the deal for Dortmund. It may not be 7, but it's 3 very, very frustrating goals to concede. Oh, lads, are we ever going to win this Champions League? It's match day 1, and I'm already dreading I'm already dreading the rest of the games. Oh, can we pull one back, though? No, we can't. Good save. I'm going to put Kokchu on the corner, actually. He did quite well in the first game from set pieces. It's not a bad ball in either. Cleared away, though. Ward making his Champions League debut here. What can he do? Ooh, good run. Ward. Oh, unlucky. Oh! Oh, it's up for a corner. For a second, I thought they put it in the back of their own net. Reina, excuse me, is coming on for Malin now. Keep nearly losing my voice. Can you tell I talk for a living? Christensen! Oh, just past the post. Go on, we'll bring on Hatate. Kokchu's done a decent job. I don't think I've actually played Hatate yet this season. So let's bring him on here. Two very good midfield options off the bench. We still have Ryan Christie as well, who in European games last season showed what he can do when called upon. But he's not on the bench here. And I don't want to put him on over Ward that much. I think I'll only do it if I really need to rotate the team. Do not concede a fourth. It's season 4, so we decided to concede 4. We're still a long way off it, lads. We really are. I'm not watching that again. Get off my screen. Maybe I should just end the series here. I'm joking, obviously. Oh, Maeda. Ida. Oh, he's hit the bloody post again! How have we hit the post so many times? This could have been 4-4 easily. Only 2 added minutes. We're not going to get a consolation goal here. Pullison's going to clear it. And that is the full-time whistle here in Dortmund. It's not the 7-1 drubbing, but it's a drubbing all the same. A 4-0 loss, and the scoreline, for me, does not reflect the full game, because we had so many chances to put the ball in the back of the net, and we completely wasted them. And the games get no easier, lads. These games get no easier. If there was ever a perfect away game to win in the league phase this season, it was this one. 4-0 to Dortmund. Playing catch-up already. Oh, I'm nervous. I am very nervous about this campaign. Bottom of the league phase after match day 1. Now, something actually, sorry, that's just caught my eye there, is that Real Madrid also lost their first game. Who did they lose to? Please tell me it was somebody shit. Oh, that would make me feel 10 times better. Okay, it wasn't somebody shit, but they were at home, and they lost to Monaco. That makes me feel a little bit better. Even though, let's be honest, both those teams will probably smash us. But anyways, we do need to get things going in the Champions League. And the first full game, as you can see there in the next episode, will be against Sporting. And it will be at Celtic Park. A battle of the two teams who wear green and white. Let's hope that Celtic are the ones who can get the 3 points in that game. So, lads, before I end this episode, let me give you a bit of an update on how these episodes are going to go going forward. So for this week, obviously today is Wednesday, or at least it's Wednesday when this goes up. At the time of recording, it is currently Friday. But obviously I'm uploading this on a Wednesday, and there will be an episode tomorrow and Friday. So this one obviously is premiering like all the other episodes have, but not every episode is going to premiere the same way this one has and all the other ones have. Reason being, lads, listen, I get it. We're in season 4. There's probably going to be parts of this career mode that some people are going to want to skip. I get that. And I don't want people to feel like they have to get through a full episode if they only want to get to the full games or if they just want to scan through the highlights. I'm completely aware of that. So, I'm only going to premiere 1 episode per week. At this moment in time, I don't know which episode that's going to be, but it'll be at least 1 episode that week, just to kind of change things up a bit. The schedule from next week on is going to be Monday, Wednesday and Friday. I think that breaks up the series nicely. A gap in between each episode, a 1 day gap that is. I think that's a pretty fair way of doing it, if I do say so myself. But no, I think that's easier to digest. Obviously now the episodes are going to go a bit quicker because we're not playing any of the full domestic games. I'm only showing you the highlights, and obviously I'll show you if we win the league or win the cup. I'll obviously show us lifting the cup in those games as well, but the Champions League is the main focus from here on out. Every full game will be played in the Champions League, as I say. So every league phase game will be played in full, unless we qualify with games to spare, which, let's be honest, probably isn't going to happen. But if that's the case, then we'll just scan on over to hopefully the last 16 or the playoff round, or maybe to Season 5 if we stay in the current position that we're in. But I don't think that will happen. Listen, as tough as the games are, I do expect us to finish in at least a playoff spot, and let's just hope that we can get to the latter stages of the Champions League this time around. Is that rule of me having to sell my 2 best players at the end of the season still there if we don't get to the quarterfinal? Yes, it is. However, I have to change one small thing because I don't want to have to keep selling centre midfielders. They have to be at the club for at least 2 seasons. I think that's a bit more fair, because if I'm having to sell new signings every year, that's just going to get annoying, and it's probably always going to be my right centre midfielder. It was Timber last season. It will be Cockchew this time round. So yeah, that's how we'll evaluate that. But let's hope we can make a big push for the Champions League this season. So lads, that will officially do it now for this episode. If you did enjoy it, please hit that like button. Please consider subscribing to the channel as well. We're still on the road to 400, hoping to smash that before this series ends. So hit that subscribe button if you did enjoy it, and I will talk to you all again tomorrow on the next episode. Take care.